Hello, welcome everyone. It's good to see you all. Just the other day, a good friend of mine, asked about what it means to be awake. Is it true that it's a permanent thing, that it can be a permanent thing? And this is what we explore in meditation, is stepping into a space where you shift out of identification with thoughts and with emotions as your reality, as your sense of self. And you shift into this quiet presence, a presence of innocence, a presence of spaciousness, a presence of luminosity, And so in meditation, this is the practice, to step back into what one might call your innate goodness, your divinity. I like to use the term innocence because when you give yourself permission to step back into what you are, it feels innocent, tender, wide open, vulnerable, carefree, yet quite powerful. Powerful because you're not getting lost here and there. And all of us, this is what we are at the core of our being. So of course it's permanent. But how we allow this permanence, the permanence of our absolute nature to manifest in life, well, that's a whole different story. Some individuals who say, quote unquote, have realized their true nature. They may live in a monastery, without much distraction, without much engagement in life. And they may be able to just stay in this state of innocence and in a really beautiful way. Other people who are more engaged in the world can kind of jump in and out, yet at the same time, deeply know what they are. I had this funny experience just about like literally 25 minutes ago where I saw a bunch of cars pulling up, in front of my house, and there's a fire station like across the street from where I live. And when you live out in the country in Colorado, we have sometimes we have fire stations in little neighborhoods in case there's a forest fire, is what that's for. And so I noticed there's this big meeting happening at the fire station, and then one neighbor ran by and said, basically like the people who run the neighborhood, the homeowners association, didn't pay the taxes. The neighborhood's defaulting and we're not going to have water. And I just stepped back and I just listened. I saw her emotions, and then, other people were kind of got involved with the conversation and gossiping, and there was all this energy. And then of course, in Colorado, everyone has one dog or maybe 10 dogs. And so a lot of dogs were running around and barking and just being wild, just feeding off the energy, say, of the collective. And I just asked, like, is this true? Is this really true? Is it really true what these people are saying? And I just, took a couple clicks online, and, and there was a article on the front page of our paper, with some disastrous headline. But then if you just stop and read and investigate a little before you jump to an emotional reaction, you see, oh, it's not really true. No one's going to lose their water, and the neighborhood's not going to spontaneously dissolve and we're all going to be homeless. It's just not true. It's not true. And so sometimes being awake is just willing to sit with something, maybe even for just 2 or 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and see, what's the truth here? What's the truth? Often within our emotional nature, we'll hear something and we'll have an emotion, and then the emotion will broadcast a story very quickly. This is the worst thing in the world. I need to leave, or whatever the thought is. If we just stop and sit with it and just look a little deeper, so we stay rooted in our truth, rooted in our innocence, listen more fully than the excited or agitated mind. You begin to experience the truth, so you're not a slave to it. And so a big aspect of being free is being deeply rooted in your innocence, in the witness, in this space of freedom. And then when something wild comes your way, can you do your best not to get lost in the wildness of it? And here on planet Earth, there's lots of wild energies. Lots of wild energies. In the past, there'd be all these myths of the Buddha. I have a little Buddha right here. Just looking like this. He's got some incense coming out of his head. And the image is, he's unmoved no matter what comes his way. He's unmoved. He's always, just deeply connected to his being. But, I have to laugh sometimes. The Buddha left his wife, he left his children, and went to have a life, with much less responsibility, much less stimulus from a wildness of life. He wanted to be a monk. He wanted to be a monk. And of course, he achieved something incredible. But, one of the great things that I always thought would be fun would be, to give, all the enlightened masters on the planet, a couple kids, a couple kids, and see how they respond to life. Can they meet the kids with love, with patience, with clarity, And in a sense, like really soon, you find, oh, they drop the ball here and there because they're also human. And so when we have this realization that awakening is about being deeply rooted in your divine being, but it's also realizing and acknowledging the limits of your human self, and forgiving yourself for having a human mind. It's a human mind that God gave you. You didn't ask for it, we all got it. We're given a body that doesn't always work, that will get sick and become old and die, and sometimes it doesn't function well. We're given a body with the habits of our ancestors and the habits of the species. And so it's good not to have, or to hold on to such a mythical understanding of awakening. because it can do us a lot of disservice. What I find in teaching, even just teaching meditation, is that a lot of people actually do violence to themselves during a meditation practice because their mind won't stop moving, because they have human thoughts. And so I invite us this evening just to give ourselves permission to be quiet, to be innocent, to be awake, to be connected. Connected, to step into our radiance. Our radiance. But if you have a human thought of despair or confusion, can you acknowledge it? Can you forgive yourself? Can you be gentle and tender with yourself? And so, why don't we all close our eyes if we haven't already? And just breathe in and breathe out. So give yourself permission to get comfortable. Taking some deep, full and relaxing belly breaths. And even invite your inhale to be longer than usual. And the exhale to be longer than usual. This helps us get in touch with the innate silence of our being. Just breathing in and breathing out. Noticing the rise and the fall of your breath. Breathing in and breathing out. And of course, giving yourself permission to unhook. Unhook from the mind. Unhook from your emotional nature. Unhook from any dramas that may be unfolding in your life. And can you arrive here fully? Settling into your being. We're breathing in, breathing out. And just noticing, is there anywhere in this body of mine where I have tension, where I have tightness, where I'm resistant? And in the most loving way, I simply invite you just to relax there. As an act of love from oneself to thyself. Wherever there's tension, wherever there's tightness, wherever there's constriction, Can you relax that? And even smile. Smile from the space of awareness at your human self, your human struggle, your human personality. Can you smile at your thinking mind? Can you smile at the mind of the world, which tends to fight with itself and fight with us? Can we just smile? Smile at Samsara. While we're breathing in and breathing out and connecting, just gently connecting to our innate innocence, our innate goodness, and giving ourselves permission just to allow the body to do what it needs to do. Allow the emotional nature to unravel. Allow the world to be the world with all its sounds and its uncomfortability and its struggle. And can you simply be the one on the mountaintop, just viewing life, the simplicity of life, the radiance and beauty of life, the spaciousness of life, as well as the uncontrollability of it, the wildness of life, the unpredictability of it, the difficulty of it. So we're just breathing in and breathing out. Giving ourselves full permission to breathe, to feel, to experience the hugeness of the self, the radiance, the luminosity. Feeling, experiencing the immensity of your being, of life itself. Breathing in and breathing out. Giving yourself permission to surrender into the immensity of your being. And then smiling at Samsara. Smiling at the confusion, the chaos. The wildness of life. So yes, breathing in. Breathing out. And I'm noticing that some of you are only allowing yourself to experience the space of awareness in what we call the third eye, the space of the mind. So I invite you all to relax your jaw, your throat, and to allow awareness to wake up. The space of your heart, your chest. Allowing the breath to deepen. Relax the solar plexus, the belly. Feel. Feel the deepening of awareness in the heart and the hara. In the pelvis, the legs, and the feet. Allowing, inviting awareness to be universal. This awakening to be universal. Throughout your being. And some of you will begin to notice that as awareness wakes up in your heart, in your belly, in your pelvis, your legs, your feet, that awareness starts waking up around you. The environment starts to wake up. The room starts to wake up. life itself. As far as you can see, is waking up. So again, we smile at Samsara, and Samsara smiles back. Smiles back. We smile at life. And life smiles back. Just breathing in. Breathing out. Feeling, experiencing. Letting go into the fullness of your being. Simply witnessing, observing the dissolving of walls, the dissolving of boundaries. What happens to our sense of self when we let all the walls of division begin to relax and dissolve? Breathing in, breathing out. Giving oneself full permission simply to let go. And fall in love with oneself. Falling in love with oneself. Breathing in, breathing out. Feeling, experiencing. expanding in every direction. Breathing in, breathing out. Not engaging with the mind and thoughts, not engaging with irritations, skepticism, struggle, but rather relaxing there. Just breathing in, breathing out, and just relaxing. Deep, full belly breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Can you relax? Can you open? Can you receive the hugeness, the fullness of your being? Can you receive? The fullness of your being. Breathing in, breathing out. Who am I? Beyond thought, beyond emotion. What is it that's here? Beyond egoic identification. Beyond the dance of personality. Beyond the current state of health of the body. Who is it that's here? That witnesses it all. Who is it that's here? That is boundaryless. I'm going to invite you all to take a few more deep, full breaths. And relax more deeply, more fully. Especially in the lower belly, the hara. Most humans unconsciously clench here, resist here. One of the great seats of our ego, like a primal aspect of ego. You relax deeply. The hara, the lower belly. Just noticing if there's any unconscious fight or resistance. Sometimes it shows up as numbness and deadness. Oftentimes it's helpful to relax the jaw and the throat. Sometimes these two work together. The jaw and the throat clench and the belly clench. So just breathing in and breathing out. Giving oneself permission to be absolutely tender and vulnerable. Right here in this moment. Despite all your lifelong conditioning that tells you to resist, to fight, to guard, to defend. And you breathe in and breathe out. Just relax in the lower belly. Might even imagine a clenched fist and just that fist just opening up like a lotus flower. It feels the warm rays of the sun just opening up. You give yourself permission to let go of trying to control life, trying to control samsara. Choosing instead to smile at life. Smile at samsara, smile at resistance. For some of you, you may find it even deeply uncomfortable. To relax in the belly. This is simply a growing pain. I invite you all to take some deep, full breaths. Can you let your guard down fully? Let life hold you. Absolute peace, spaciousness, and the vastness of this moment. Can you allow it to hold you? Nurture your mind. Nurture your body. Just breathing in. Breathing out. Just gently, inwardly smiling. It's okay to let go. It's okay to have no walls. It's okay to be unguarded, undefended. And to smile. Smile at life. Trust. That oneness is your truth. Openness is your truth. Vulnerability is your truth. The agitated mind, not your truth. Discursive ego, not your truth. And while from a place of compassion, it's a fully understandable and rational response to resist. Resistance is not our truth. That's why it doesn't feel good to resist. Openness is your truth. Innocence is your truth. Spaciousness, immensity, luminosity, unconditional love is your truth. Breathing in, breathing out. feeling, experiencing, and letting go. To the gentleness, the innocence, the hugeness of your being. Hugeness of your being. So breathing in, breathing out, feeling, experiencing. And here, this moment, I hear the voice of the Divine Mother cheering you on. You are all doing wonderfully. Wonderfully, given your life circumstances, your conditioning, the struggles that you were given, the body that you were given, the family that you are given, the chaos and difficulty that you are given. The Divine Mother is deeply bowing before you, before your strength, your innocence, your beauty, your resilience. An army of angels have showed up to bow before you, acknowledging your pain, your struggle. You are the brave ones. You are the brave ones who've come to earth. You are the brave ones. You're doing wonderfully. Despite the skepticism in your mind, the discouragement of ego, the collective hell, you're doing wonderfully. And so I invite you all to breathe in, to breathe out, to open your heart. Simply receive these words of encouragement from the Mother herself, the Creator herself. And you stop judging yourself, criticizing yourself for not being perfect. And see that you actually are absolutely divine. You are an incredible being of light, shining in a very heavy, difficult world. Very heavy, difficult world. So just breathing in, breathing out, opening your heart, receiving this love, these words of encouragement. Having the courage to smile, smile at the Divine Mother. Having the courage to smile at your humanity. having the courage to smile at Samsara. And just breathing in, breathing out. And feeling, acknowledging the hugeness of your being. Seeing this light shining out in all directions. The love that you are shining out in all directions. Blessing friends and family, those we know, those we don't know. Flooding the resistance of the planet, resistance of our species, the resistance of this realm. Flooding it with light. The courage, the strength to open, to surrender, to try another way. Breathing in, breathing out. Smiling, relaxing. And welcoming, welcoming. And so I invite you all just to gently open your eyes and to see the world from this space of awakened vision. See the world, the space of innocence, gentleness, and tenderness. To welcome life, welcome each other. And here in the Sangha, we see two new faces here. And so we welcome you. We welcome you. We welcome you all. Welcome you. And so, in the beginning, before the meditation, I spoke about the experience of being awake. And, awake is less of a noun and more like a verb. It's a choice. It's a choice that we have each moment. To be open, to experience ourselves from the hugeness of our being. We also have the choice to just be our old habitual self. And it's a common practice in meditation groups where they open to something wonderful that he can experience himself as the witness, as this innate presence of luminosity and goodness and peace and silence. And then as soon as the meditation is over, just to pick up the old habits, the old sense of self. And so I invite you all to challenge that habit. To challenge that habit. And so in a couple of minutes, we'll just go out and we'll join our life. And the invitation here is, can you walk forward awake and smiling at samsara, smiling at the wildness, smile at the chaos, and stay rooted in your divine innocence. And so, it's so good to be here with you all. It's so good to have some new faces in the room. We fully welcome you here. We hope to see you again next week. May peace be with you all. May you all have a wonderful night. Good night.